What is up, everybody? Welcome in to another mock draft episode, y'all. Spencer the Guru here, going to review 12 teams that we did a mock draft here with on Sleeper, a 12-team PPR single quarterback league. It was very interesting, got a lot to break down, so let's get right into it. Hello, what's up, Guru Nation? Yes, indeed. Guru Nation, baby. We're back once again with a brand new Guru Nation podcast. Couldn't do it without y'all. Appreciate everyone here ready to get this show on the road. So, yeah, this was a fun one. 12-man PPR. I honestly, full disclaimer, have not broken down these teams at all. This prior to this video, this will all be just off the cuff, off the dome improv as far as me going over the teams. I mean, I have an idea of what they are, being that I participated in the mock, but it's not like I prepared and have a bunch of notes written down. So I'll just go quick and give y'all my off the dome thoughts on all 12 teams. So we're going to pull them up right here. We'll go 12-1 with this deal. We'll start it off with Mathman, who was in our last mock. I believe he picked here at pick 12. And he starts this thing off with Puka Nakua at pick 12. And then Malik Neighbors at the turn. Got a pair of elite receivers there. That's pretty solid to start it off. And then we've got Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry McLaurin got the Commanders stack, which we hope is still a stack as long as McLaurin doesn't get traded. We're hoping he doesn't get traded, because if he does, it probably won't be in as good of a spot for fantasy. Washington's a good spot for him. He's the number one receiving option there. So let's hope they get the contract deal worked out and he stays. I think they will, because I don't see another logical destination. I think he's kind of stuck with the Commanders. So he waited on running back, didn't get a running back here till DeAndre Swift at the 5-12, gets in with George Pickens, another receiver, loaded on receivers, and then goes Jalen Warren, Stephon Diggs, another receiver, then goes David Njoku, then a bunch of running backs at the end, hoping some of these can hit. Tajay Spears, Dylan Sampson, Isaac Garindo, Woody Marks, and Rashad Bateman. So, yeah, this one, I mean, it's pretty obvious what the issue is here, and that's the running back position. DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears now coming off a high ankle sprain, might not be ready to go. Tajay, that is, might be injured. And then Sampson might be the gem here. Dylan Sampson might be the savior if he can win the week one starting job. Even if he doesn't, he'll probably be in a committee with Jerome Ford, because we don't know what the deal is with Quinshon Judkins. I am not drafting him. He might not even play this season. I think Sampson's the value, so I like that pick. And then Woody from Toy Story Marks, there's his last running back. Could be good with Nick Chubb not looking too good there in Houston and Joe Mixon being banged up. So I think Sampson and Marks could be sneaky, but it's just, man, Swift and Warren is your top two. That is not ideal. Swift, they've got a lot of question marks surrounding him. I feel like he just never can put it together. Like, he has not been able to ever put together a strong RB1 season. If he's your RB2 or 3, that's fine, especially as a 3. He's a solid 3. Same with Warren. Like, if Warren's like a 3 or 4, that's not bad. But relying on these two as your starters, that's trouble. And then Garindo's banged up. Not sure if he'll be ready for week one. Same with Tajay Spears. This backfield just screams trouble. But enough about that. Let's move on to his receivers, which are really loaded. I mean, this receiving core might be able to carry him through it. The issue is he took Jaden a little too high for my liking, although into the third is not a terrible value. Just, I don't know, man. I mean, with the McLaurin contract issues and just Jaden being a second-year guy, it's just, we all know how the NFL is. Second-year guys coming off big rookie years a lot of times don't pan out. We saw that with C.J. Stroud last year. Sophomore slump. I think Jaden will be fine, though, for fantasy purposes because of his rushing. Even if his passing takes a step back, I think with his rushing ability, he'll still be a top 5 to 10 fantasy QB. So, with that being said, I think this team is pretty good, but the running backs scare me. And then Puka Nakua, with Matthew Stafford still not healthy, Puka Nakua he dropped to 12 here. His ADP was a little higher than that, but his ADP I think is going to start dropping because if Matthew Stafford's not in there, it could be ugly to start the season there for the Rams because Stafford, he isn't what he used to be, but he's still a much better option than what they've got behind him. So that could definitely hurt Puka if their QB situation ends up somebody other than Stafford. So he's got depth to the position, though. McLaurin's a little questionable, and then the running backs are pretty bad. And then Njoku should be pretty good. That's a good value at the end of the ninth, but I don't think it's going to help make up for these running backs. And so because of these running backs being so poor, I'm going to have to give this one a C-. This one just doesn't hit the spot for me, especially with Puka, just with the Stafford stuff. I may have gone with like Drake London or Brian Thomas over Puka to pair with Malik Neighbors, and not a big fan of Jay. I just don't really like this team. I mean, I'll be real. If I was in a bad mood, I'd go with D, but I'm not. I'm trying to be nice and positive here, so I'll say C-. But yeah, Mathman, like you're a real one, bro. You always do these mocks, but I would definitely kind of switch up your strategy next time. As far as don't kick the can that far down the road at the running back position. Hell Lord 247 up next. I believe that's Adam Veillon. I think that's Adam Veillon. Shout out to Veillon. He's got Josh Jacobs, Ashton Jenney, Alvin Kamara, three-headed monster at running back there. And then he goes Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, Tank Bigsby, Nick Chubb, Adam Thielen, CJ Stroud, Isaiah Likely, and Jordan Love. Okay, so he waits on a quarterback, gets two pretty good ones with upside there at the end. That's not bad. Kelce, Likely, that's pretty good tight end duo. He decides to double up at both quarterback and tight end, which you don't necessarily have to do that in these mocks because they only go 14 rounds, but not necessarily a bad thing. I like the double QBs. I'll give him that. Then his receivers, Evans, Worthy, Kupp, Godwin, Thielen. The depth's lacking, I got to say, but it's not terrible. I mean, Evans is very reliable. Worthy's got a lot of upside. Not a big Cooper Kupp fan. Not a big Godwin fan either since he's coming off injury. Kupp just very injury prone. The offense he's in, not super fantasy friendly. Thielen, with Tet McMillan there, I don't see Thielen being much of a factor anymore. He could maybe early on be a PPR guy, but at his age, I don't trust him. So the receivers are definitely concerning here. But Stroud and Love, I think one of those two could end up top 12. So, and then you can kind of play the matchups there. That's not bad. Kelce in the 6, pretty good value, even though he's getting up in age. And then this running back room is just really, really nice. Jacobs, Genty, Kamara. Then got Bigsby and Chubb. Not the greatest depth, though. Bigsby could be pretty good, but he just doesn't catch passes. He was bad as a receiver last year, and it appears Etienne's back as the one. And then Chubb might get some early run, but it's just with Mixon eventually back, I just don't see him being much for fantasy this year. And then Likely believes kind of banged up there. So, yeah, some concerns here with depth and older guys. So, yeah, not a huge fan of this one. Do like that three-headed monster, though. I'll give this one a C+. I'll go C+. Can't quite give it a B. There's some red flags here, but started off pretty good. And at the start, even if you have some bad depth, it's a lot easier to replace the depth than it is the starters. So since he had a nice running back trio, I'll go C+. All right, White Chocolate. Shout out to the homie Josh. He's got Christian McCaffrey there, Drake London, T. Higgins, Ken Walker, Travion Henderson, Joe Mixon, Jordan Addison, Jacoby Myers, Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, Justin Herbert, Tyler Algier, DeMario Pop Douglas, and Ollie Gordon. Okay, so he did the opposite of Veillon as far as he didn't double up at either tight end or QB, which I'm okay with that. You don't necessarily need to double up at those spots in a single QB league. So, yeah, I like this one, man. Running backs here, CMC, Ken Walker, Travion Henderson, Mixon. I mean, Ken Walker could be in somewhat of a timeshare with Charbonnet, but I still think he'll be pretty darn solid. Henderson, I really like. I think he's going to be the clear workhorse for the Patriots at some point. Probably gonna have to share with Stevenson a good bit early on, but I think he'll break free and be their main back for it's all said and done. And then Mixon coming off the injury, but around 6, pretty good value. He could still for sure have value this year, considering they don't have a whole lot behind him. And then CMC I like as an RB1. And his depth, he has Algier, Ollie Gordon. Yeah, those guys could be decent depth. I hope I have Bijan in this. I hope Algier doesn't become good. But in the event something would happen to Bijan, he'd probably be the guy. Same with if something would happen to A-Chain, Ollie Gordon would be in position to be a potential lead back. He'd be competing with Jalen Wright. And he has a clearer path now that Alexander Madison is out for the season. I believe that injury happened this week or over the weekend. He had a neck injury. He's on season-ending IR. So the receivers, Drake London, T. Higgins, pretty good duo. But then Addison, that's concerning. Considering he's suspended 3 games. But I do like Myers and Downs. He got good values with those two. And then Pop Douglas. Those are all players I like, especially for PPR. Those are all like slot receiver types, target hogs. So then that'll help make up for the absence of Addison, I feel like. And then Tyler Warren's got upside. I like that. With these safe PPR options, you got more of an upside tied in with Warren. Could have maybe taken a backup, but I would think Warren will be good enough to start most weeks. So not bad. It's just, man, that Colts offense, we just don't know if there'll be enough targets to go around for anyone to really be fantasy relevant there as far as a receiver. I mean, even Josh Downs, Pittman's still there. It's just, their offense could end up really bad, but it might not be as bad as we're thinking, especially if Jonathan Taylor can do well on the ground. So, yeah, this was pretty good, though. I don't really have too many gripes. Herbert as QB1 at the end of the 11th, really good value. Like the running backs, like the receivers for the most part. This one's really good. I feel like other than there's a few little things I have done different, but it's pretty good. I'll give it. Man, I'm tempted to say A-. This one's pretty good, man. I gotta give Josh credit. He knocked it out of the park with a lot of these picks. But with with Mixon and Addison being he might start off a little tough. I'll give it a B+ because of that, but I almost gave it an A-. That was a good draft, homie. That was a good draft. And yeah, you can take it for what it's worth. If you he's probably mad I didn't give the A-, but there's just a few little things there. BSM, Boston Sports Mania. Shout out to Andrew. He's back in the building doing these mocks with us. He's got Jettis. Jettis fell all the way to 9, y'all. What a steal. So I guess some people are concerned about his hamstring, but I don't think there's any real reason to worry there. I mean, it's just the preseason. He's got plenty of time to make sure he's good to go. I don't see that being an issue. And then he's got A-Chain and James Cook. Really like the A-Chain pick. James Cook, not a huge fan of that one, but I mean, in the end of the third, it's like, it's not bad value. You got to look at it from a value standpoint. Yeah, I'm not a huge James Cook fan. He's gotten a contract dispute, but for where he got him, it's not bad. Then Jalen Hurts in the 4th, pretty good. Jamison, Tet McMillan. I really like this receiving core here. Then Tyrone Tracy, not bad as a 3. Jaden Reed, decent depth. Ramondre Stevenson, really late there in the 9th. Not a Ramondre fan, but can't deny the value. Then Kincaid and Goddard. Marvin Mims, Austin Eckler, and what's this rookie's name for the Raiders? Dante. I almost said Deontay, but it is Dante Thornton. Okay, yeah, pretty good dart through there. Yeah, the backfield, like I said, not a huge Cook fan, but I really like A-Chain. Then Tracy, Stevenson, Eckler. Okay, depth. Not really an Eckler fan this year. I think Krosky Merritt is the Commanders back to get late, but Eckler could maybe still have a role. Then Jettis, Jamison, Tet, like that. I like how Jamison and Tet kind of complement each other. I feel like Jamison's more a big play guy and Tet probably more a PPR guy. But then he's got Jaden Reed, who's kind of up and down on a weekly basis, but gives you some upside there in the mid rounds to where it's not bad. Plus, I would think Green Bay's offense would be a little better this year throwing wise. So I think Jaden Reed can maybe be something. But they did take Matthew Golden in the first round, so he could end up kind of raining on the Reed parade. And then Mims and Thornton, not bad dart throws, but not really sure what to think of those guys. Jalen Hurts, he's safe. He's just a very safe QB1 there. He's doesn't have the upside of like Lamar and Allen, but you know what you're getting with Jalen Hurts. I mean, that Philly offense, it ain't going nowhere. It's going to still be really good, I feel like. And then Kincaid and Goddard, that's a pretty decent duo. Goddard's probably a little more of a floor play, and Kincaid the upside play, but I think they complement each other pretty good. So, yeah, this one don't really have too many gripes here. I mean, the Jettas thing kind of fell in his lap and got a good bit of mid-rounds, and just some of the late picks I wasn't a huge fan of, but this one isn't bad. I'll go B+ here as well. Like I said with Josh, I feel like these two teams really did well. The other two that I've talked about weren't bad, but I feel like by them kind of taking some players I wasn't as big on, it probably helped picks 9 and 10 end up a little more stacked. But just all my humble opinion, y'all. Team 8, this is Santana, I'm sure. Nico, Brian Thomas, George Kittle, followed by Chuba, Pacheco, and Pollard. So he went 3 running backs there after waiting on the position. Roma Dunze, Jordan Mason, Jaden Higgins, Dak and Purdy, Ray Davis, Jerome Ford, Elijah Arroyo. Okay, yeah, this team looks pretty good. The receivers, he starts off with Nico and Thomas. I definitely wouldn't have gone Nico over Jettis. That was kind of crazy to me. He must be a big Nico fan this year. I like Nico, but not that high. And then BTJ got at a pretty good price. So Dunze, pretty good as a 3, Higgins. But then he's got no depth really behind them, so that's a concern. His running backs, Chuba, Pacheco, Pollard. I like Mason in the 8th. That's good. Davis and Ford. Ford goes so late in these drafts. I like the value at him. Then he got Kittle. Don't really see the need why he drafted Arroyo. I guess it's just like a dart throw late. Can't hate on that too much. And then Dak and Purdy. That's a decent QB duo. So, yeah, this one's got some stuff I'd have done different. But overall, not bad. I'll give it a C. It's all right, but I may give it a better grade, but you can't highlight it. So part of his penalty is that he didn't stay to get, I don't know. I don't understand that with him. It's so weird. All right, next, TJ, a newcomer to these mocks. Shout out to TJ. He starts it off with the King Henry at pick 7. Kind of a shocker there. Henry normally doesn't go that high in PPR, but he is the King Henry, so can't argue with it too much. And he's got A.J. Brown. Been dealing with some knee stuff, but should be good to go. A.J. Brown usually tends to get healthy for the season, but am definitely concerned about his knees. I feel like he's had knee issues, it seems like now the past 2 years, and he's getting up in age. So A.J. Brown's someone that I'm a little nervous about taking in the 2nd round. But then he goes Brees and Marvin Harrison. I feel like he got Harrison at a good price here. Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 3rd scares me, but in the 4th, I'm okay with it. Then he's got David Montgomery, T.J. Hawkinson, Baker Mayfield. That's a good value. Khalil Shakir, Juwan Jennings, both bad on injuries. Jonnu Smith, Jared Goff, Darnell Mooney, Christian Kirk, Rico Dowdle. All right, yeah, this one's got a lot of red flags. I just don't really like the Henry to start in a full PPR. And A.J. Brown's kind of injury prone. He took a lot of household names that aren't necessarily what I want for fantasy. So, yeah, it's just, and then, yeah, Jonnu at Hawk, he didn't really need that. Didn't really need Goff with Baker. Yeah, this team it missed the mark, in my opinion, because even with, AJ and Marvin, Shakir's banged up, Jennings banged up, Mooney's banged up. He's got so many injury-prone players in his running back depth. Rico is his only back behind the top 3, which should end up pretty good. But, yeah, this team's got issues. But with that being said, though, he's got a lot of talent, a lot of big names. I mean, this is a redraft league here, so can't fault him too much for taking more proven guys. No rookies though yet. He was taking more household names. I'll go C minus. It's probably gonna be a team that might start off okay, but as the year goes on, these veteran guys, like some of these ones, I just don't trust to stay healthy, and he's already got some guys banged up. So yeah, not a big fan of this one, but considering this is his first time mocking with us, not bad. TJ, I mean, you can tell he knows ball. I mean, he's got a lot of talented players. It's just with fantasy, though, even if you know ball, it's just fantasy sometimes can be a little different beast because it's so statistics driven, and it's all about what you're gonna do for me as opposed to what you have done for me, which is why a lot of people tend to chase younger players, upside, rookies, and all that. So there's my thoughts on that. So TJ, if you're watching, don't be mad at me. That's just what I thought. All right, Dez up next. He's got CD, Bucky, Lamar, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Travis Hunter, Quinshon Judkins, Javonte Williams, Mark Andrews, Keon Coleman, Tucker Kraft, Cedric Tillman, Rashad White, and JJ McCarthy. Yeah, I hate these running backs. Quinshon Judkins, we don't know if he's even going to play because of the allegations and charges and all that. He's a mess legally, so definitely don't want him. Javonte, I just don't trust the backfield situation there. Rashad White, not a bad value. He's banged up and not the starter anymore, but that's a good value. And you paired him with Bucky. That's not bad. The receivers I really like. Yeah, CD and Garrett. That's a nice duo. Then Zay Flowers, Travis Hunter, Keon. Got a lot of upside there. I like that. Cedric Tillman. Then Andrews, Tucker Kraft. It's a pretty good tight end combo. Lamar, JJ. Yeah, this one ain't bad. Not bad, not bad. I'll give it a C plus. There's a few things I'd have done different, but especially it's the Judkins thing. This one would probably get a B if it wasn't for that Judkins pick, but that Judkins pick just kind of drops it for me. But everything else looks pretty good. So not bad. Not bad for Dez. I believe he was in our mock last week, so good job, dude. I think he got a little higher grade this week. So keep working at it, man. Harbot up next, one of our regulars. He has got Amon-Ra, JT, Tyreek Hill, Rashee Rice, James Conner, Aaron Jones, Chris Olave, Cam, Scattaboo, Evan Ingram, Colston Loveland, Kyler Murray, Keenan Allen, Justin Fields, D-Hop. Yeah, I usually like these builds where you wait on tight end and quarterback. I took both of the positions a little earlier than I normally do, especially tight end. I took tight end in the third, as you'll see when we get to my team. But I like this duo here, Ingram and Loveland, a veteran and a young guy. The quarterback duo not as big on Kyler and Fields. I feel like that could be kind of a headache throughout the year. No, trying to figure out which one to start, and they both run a lot, so might have weeks where they both are out or something. So yeah, not a big fan of QBs, but the receivers, Amon-Ra, Hill, Rice. I mean, even if Rice gets suspended, he's got Olave as depth. Keenan Allen just re-signed with the Chargers, a little reunion there. And then D-Hop, I don't want anything to do with Hopkins this year for fantasy, but Keenan Allen could still have value. I feel like could still have a little something left in the tank. Then JT, Connor, Jones, pretty good trio. Not a big Scattaboo fan for redraft. He's battling an injury, and it looks like Tracy's going to be the guy, but maybe he could be a second half guy. So, yeah, this one's not bad. I'll give it a C plus. So there's just a few little nitpicky things. Like I feel like I keep giving out C pluses. There's a lot of concerns here. I mean, Rice suspension, Olave with the concussion, Scattaboo is a rookie already battling injuries, and then Kyler and Fields. Not a big fan of that quarterback room, and then Hopkins I think was a wasted pick late, but he did a lot of good though. I like his tight ends, like the Keenan Allen, like the mid-round running backs, like Amon-Ra, JT is this duo. Not a big Tyreek fan, but that's just personal preference. I mean, Tyreek, if healthy, should still ball. So C plus, but borderline B minus. This is a pretty good team that, if all goes well, should make the playoffs. I'd say as like a 6 seed. So it's a mid-pack team with upside for more. I would say. Murph, he was our champion last week as far as grades, I believe. Let's see what he cooked up here this week. He has Saquon, Ladd, Omari and Hampton, Joe Burrow, Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley, Debo, J.K. Najee, Kyle Pitts, Luther Burden, Jake Ferguson, Drake May, Will Shipley. Okay, yeah, this one's all right, but not like last week. I'll just say that. I mean, it's pretty good, but Saquon, I'm just not as big on coming off that record year. A lot of tread worn off the tires from after last year. That's for sure. And then Omar Hampton could end up really good. Don't mind him kind of reaching on him because I think he's got a lot of upside. But then didn't take another running back till JK. I think he could be a value. And then Najee, like paired with Hampton, makes sense. And then Will Shipley to pair with Saquon. I could see Cuff in one backfield, but Cuff in two backfields. I'm not that big on that strategy. But I mean, there are his top two backs. So can't argue with it too much. Ladd, Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley, Debo. Yeah, this receiving core just doesn't really do it for me. I mean, Ladd in the second isn't bad. Devontae, though, kind of is what he is. Calvin Ridley's volatile. Debo can maybe be good, but I think Terry gets that deal done, and Debo's getting a little long in the tooth. And then Pitts and Fergie, I don't know, man. They're just both kind of uncertain. And then Luther is a rookie, probably ain't going to do a whole lot. Drake May, solid backup. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, so didn't really need Drake May. Yeah, this one's real pretty good though. I'll give it a B minus. I mean, it's still a good team. It's still probably a playoff team. It's got some sneaky good players here. It just doesn't hit. Like one last week though, just to me really just slapped. Like he really killed it. Where this week, there's a few things that I'd have done different. Because I mean, at the end of the day, all this is just my opinion. Like, so take it for what it's worth. Like, I mean, who knows? I mean, it might end up really good. MDekes up next. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, JSN, Devontae Adams. Ooh, I like that start. Sam Laporta, Jalen Waddle, Caleb Johnson, another player like Ricky Pearsall, Bo Nix, Rashid Shaheed, Kyle Williams, Josh Palmer, Tootin, a rookie for the Jags, and Krosky Merritt, rookie for the Commanders. All right. This team might get an A because I really like the way it's built. You start off with two really good backs here, I feel like, with Gibbs and Chase Brown. And you get the rookie and Caleb Johnson. And didn't take any more till Tootin and Krosky Merritt, but both have a lot of upside. The reason I don't mind that is because look at this receiving core he built up. Yeah, he didn't take one till JSN, but he gets Adams to pair with him. And granted, Adams might not be as good early on if Stafford's injured to start the year, but I think Stafford will eventually come back. And at the end of the fourth round, I mean, that's a steal for a guy like Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams still has a lot left in the tank, it seems. I mean, look how he finished the year last year. He was balling. And then you got Jalen Waddle, who isn't the most ideal WR3, but he's just a WR3. And if Tua's healthy, he should still see enough work to be relevant. And then you got Ricky Pearsall here in the eighth, an absolute steal with Ayuk and Jennings banged up. Pearsall's going to go crazy to start the season, and he might stick in a prominent role there for the 49ers, even if Jennings and Ayuk come back. I mean, he was their first-round pick from last year. Shanny doesn't normally take skill guys that high unless he thinks they're going to be really something special. So I think Ricky Pearsall could end up that mid-round league winner that, I mean, if he's going into 6th or 7th, I'd maybe be like, might be a little high, but the 8th, like, that's the sweet spot. To me, if you see Ricky Pearsall there in the 8th and 9th, like, you take that and run with it. If anything, I might even say take him in the 7th because it's like I'd take him for sure over Debo. I'd probably even take him over Olave considering how much of a mess the Saints offense looks like. Hell, I'd probably take him over Odunze. I don't really trust the Bears and Caleb Williams. Definitely would take him over Addison with the suspension, and I'd take him over Cooper Kupp because of just the fact that the Seahawks offense is probably not going to be very pass happy. So, yeah, I think he got Pearsall at a really good price. And I'd take him over, who's in there? Take him over Shakir. He's banged up. I'd take him over Reed. He's too volatile. I like Jacoby Myers. I don't know if I'd probably still take him over Myers, though, because he has more upside. I'd take him over Godwin. Godwin's coming off injury. Same with Stephon Diggs. Like, I mean, those guys could end up better, but they just, to me, are all shaky. And I mean, a guy like Pearsall, to me, his situation is really shaping up good. So he's in his depth, Shaheed, Kyle Williams, Josh Palmer. I like Josh Palmer, not that big on Shaheed. Like I said, the Saints, I mean, I'm from NOLA. I mean, I grew up a Saints fan, but I got to admit, like, we're trash, especially on offense. The Saints just don't look good at all. But maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I am, but man, they just don't look good. Kyle Williams has upside, so, and then Laporta. I think you got Laporta at a good price point. Not a huge Laporta fan, but 5th round, not bad. Yeah, I'll give this one an A-. I don't have too many gripes here. I pretty much like all these picks. Oh, yeah, Shaheed. I don't like Shaheed there, but other than Shaheed, I like pretty much everything else. So, and then Laporta in the 5th, maybe a little high, but I mean, no, this team killed it, man. I might even have to go an A. You know what? You get it to A, damn it. We'll take the minus off. This team is just, what a squad. Shout out to Mike, man. That team just absolutely killed it. And I just invited him to my $100 league. I'm a little concerned now. This dude, he might be the real guru. Calling myself the guru. All right, so I'm up next here. Bijan, Kyron, Trey McBride, DK, Sutton, Judy. I got Mahomes in the 7th. I couldn't believe Mahomes fell that far. Then Jaden Blue, Zach Charbonnet, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman, Jack Besh, Blake Corum, and Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I know pretty happy with this team. I was scared to pull the trigger on Kyron there. I almost went Brock Bowers, but I was like, you know what? I want to have McBride. I haven't had any teams this year with McBride, so I figured they'd take Bowers at 1, which they did. So then I got McBride to go at Kyron. And Kyron just signed his extension, so I think that's a good thing. They believe in him and their offense, assuming Stafford comes back at some point, which I'm pretty sure he will. Kyron's going to be very good again, I would think, especially near the goal line. That's his specialty. He's pretty much a lock for double-digit touchdowns in that offense. They're so productive with McVay. Then I've got DK, Sutton, and Judy. 3 receivers. Like, none of these will probably be WR1s, but I think between the 3 of them, they'll all be borderline 2s to where I think they're all in position to be pretty fantasy relevant, considering they're all the top targets on their respective teams. Like, DK's going to be working with Rodgers. You know, I know it's Arthur Smith, but with Rodgers, man, DK Metcalf could be better than some are thinking. And I feel like at the end of the 4th, I'll take the chance. And then Sutton with Bo Nix. I mean, that offense should keep being pretty good with Sean Payton. So I'm thinking he'll be pretty good this year again as like a WR2. And then Judy with Joe Flacco, man, Cleveland stinks, but I don't think it's going to matter for fantasy. I think they'll be pretty good. I think Judy's in a pretty good position to be fantasy relevant there. And then Mahomes in the 7th, I just think is a really good value, considering he should have improved receivers this year. They should throw a little more. Jaden Blue, I think their O-line being a little banged up could hurt their running game, but the other running backs suck over there to where I think Jaden Blue is in position to be the guy at some point. And then Charbonnet could get some work there with next to Ken Walker, kind of like a floor play that could end up pretty good upside. Ayuk, Pittman, Bash. Ayuk I could put on my IR. Pittman's like a guy that could be depth if one of the other 3 get hurt. And then Bash is like an upside rookie play who his stock's been dropping a little bit, but I think he could still be relevant in year 1. 337 stand up covered him in high school with St. Thomas More, and then his college career was a little rocky to start, and then had the big senior year, sit out in the Senior Bowl, and of course doing it for his brother Tiger. Rest in peace, Tiger Besh. Jack is really motivated to have a good career for his brother, and hope he ends up having a great career. That'd be a great story. So, and then Corum, the handcuff with Kyron, and T-Law. I think Trevor Lawrence could bounce back this year. Liam Cohen's offense. And yeah, I was gonna take Krosky Merritt, but he got picked. So gotta back up to go with Mahomes. Oh yeah, I need to get out of here, y'all. I'm stumbling over my words. So don't have water. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I think I did okay here. I tried a little something different and it actually didn't go too bad. I'll give myself a B. Not my best work, but definitely ended up pretty good. Next, Megamoon, Jamar Chase, Brock Bowers, Josh Allen, DJ Moore, RJ Harvey, Brian Robinson, Travis Etienne, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka. Wow, I got 2 rookie receivers there. Trey Benson, Trey Harris, another rookie receiver. Caleb Williams, Braylon Allen, and Brenton Strange, tight end. Yeah, he didn't really need Caleb and Strange. He already had his QB and tight end, which are both elite, by the way. Bowers and Allen. My goodness. His backfield's a kind of a concern. RJ could end up really good. That's your one. That is very nerve-wracking to me. I would not want a rookie as my one, especially on a Sean Payton offense, because Sean Payton tends to mix and match his running back. So I just don't like it. I just don't really trust him to get enough touches to be really good. But he is explosive. Could be the next Alvin Kamara. I think that's why people are really intrigued. But I just don't see him doing quite as well as some are thinking. Brian Robinson, I just don't really like with the uh, Krosky Merritt. Eckler's going to get his touches. I just don't see him being that good. Etienne and Benson, I think, could maybe save this backfield. But overall, this backfield kind of stinks. Chase Moore, Chase obviously really good. Moore, pretty good as a 2. Golden Egbuka, I like that. I like Egbuka better, but Golden has a lot of upside. And then Trey Harris, not bad. So, and Braylon Allen is a depth piece in the backfield. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Pretty good. There's some things I've done different. Yeah, Bowers, I might say this. This might sound crazy, but I think I might take McBride over Bowers in redraft. I don't know. I'm just a little concerned that Bowers isn't going to repeat his rookie year. I tend to get nervous with rookies at the sophomore slump thing. That tends to be a real thing with defenses adjusting. I think Jacoby Myers is the guy to have this year for the Raiders. I mean, I'd obviously still draft Bowers over Myers, but just from a value standpoint, I just think Myers is a lot better value. And then Allen, first QB out the board, 3rd round. Josh is Josh. I mean, he's really good, but with Joe Brady being a more conservative play caller than Ken Dorsey, it's made him not quite as good for fantasy. He runs more with Brady, so that helps as far as he's got that floor with the rushing touchdowns. So Allen's still elite. But yeah, this seems pretty good. I'll give it a C plus. Has some stuff I'd have done different, but it's not bad. It's got a lot of upside. And y'all know me, I like to chase upside. So there you go. C plus to cap it off. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate everyone that tuned in. And yeah, those are our grades, and we'll try to do 1 or 2 more for the start of season. And so hopefully that'll get y'all ready for y'all's drafts. So all right, that's gonna do it. Spencer Guru signing off. I need to go get some water. Peace.